What's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be talking about Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing Batman in the Justice League movie in 2015. Right now, this is in rumor status, so it's not 100% confirmed that this is actually going to happen, but it seems a logical choice and has probably a pretty good chance of actually happening, seeing as how at the end of The Dark Knight Rises, if you guys remember, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is sort of shown to be the next Batman or Robin or whatever you want to look at it as. So it would make sense, I think, for Warner Brothers to take him from going from that point and use him for a Justice League movie. A few other reasons why I think he would be a good choice is because, he really, in a Justice League movie, Batman wouldn't really be like, all the focus wouldn't be on him. You would have multiple different characters. We've already got a little bit of his backstory in The Dark Knight Rises, so they wouldn't need to show too much of his character, which would help out with the movie so that they could show some of the other characters. Like, for example, if they go with the classic Justice League team, you're going to have, like, obviously Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, The Flash, and maybe, a couple other characters, whoever you want to throw in. You could throw in, like, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, and whoever else. I mean, there's lots of choices. Aquaman, So if they chose him, since we've already seen a little bit of that backstory, it would feel pretty natural just kind of doing a quick, maybe 5 to 10 minute scene of him in Gotham, doing something as Batman or fighting crime or doing, this kind of stuff with one of his villains, let's say, and then just show that real quick, and that would kind of give us, up to speed on him, since we already kind of know that he was set up to do that in the last movie, rather than if you just had a new actor and you just said, okay, they're Batman, and then did the same thing with them, but then we wouldn't really have that backstory. Although everybody already knows the backstory of Batman, so it wouldn't be like, you wouldn't have to do it. For example, in the 1989 Batman movie with Michael Keaton, they didn't really show too much about the backstory of Bruce Wayne or Batman. A little bit, but it was mostly kept mysterious by Tim Burton, by his choice, because he felt like people don't really need to see that. I mean, at this point, everybody has seen so many interpretations of the character that pretty much everybody already knows who he is. But if they do choose Joseph Gordon-Levitt to do it, he wouldn't necessarily be like your atypical Batman, because he wouldn't be Bruce Wayne. He would be, a new sort of interpretation of the character for the movie. He would be John Blake, the character from The Dark Knight Rises, sort of as Batman in the movie. So, or maybe like in the comic books, you have a few different Batmans at certain points in time. Like Dick Grayson as Batman. I could see him as like a Dick Grayson type Batman, where he's kind of more, because he's really skinny, he's not really buff, so he wouldn't be very much like a Bruce Wayne type Batman, where when he punches guys they just get knocked out and stuff like this, and he just fights with his bare hands, mostly, and his gauntlets. He may have some kind of weapons with him too, like he may use guns, whereas regular Batman doesn't. He may use, like Nightwing has the, like, batons or whatever you want to call them, like sticks, like nightsticks type thing, billy club type stuff. He could do something like that, or they could have him, just kind of be his own interpretation. Maybe have him have some kind of like electrical shock to his gloves, or some kind of weapon like that would make sense, I think, because he is pretty damn skinny to be like a Batman or Bruce Wayne type character, where you would expect him to be like, the comic book interpretation of Bruce Wayne is able to bench press, like, let's say, I don't know, like 500 to 1,000 pounds or something ridiculous like that. It's a comic book. But you get the idea that he's supposed to be really buff. Not that Christian Bale is. I mean, he's kind of halfway there, but it's enough to get by, whereas with JGL, I don't see that as being, he doesn't fit that for me anyway. Another reason I think would be he would be pretty good is because he is different, and we have had so many different movies with Batman, and they've all basically been Bruce Wayne as Batman. So they haven't been a new character. We all know the story by now, so it would give Warner Brothers some flexibility to do some new things with him. Also, he's a great actor, which obviously you'd have to be to play a role like this. So I think that because of all those reasons, he would actually be pretty damn good to play the role, so that they could do something new with the character. Sort of have him like in Batman Beyond, where we have like Terry McGinnis, who's a new type of Batman. create a new one for the movie universe, so to speak, and then maybe they could do another film with him afterwards as Batman and kind of give us a new take on the character, a new take on a new interpretation of who Batman could be, versus just always having it be Bruce Wayne, which I think is a safe route, but probably not the most interesting one, and it does risk people getting burnt out on it. You know, because if they just keep every 2 or 3 years pumping out the same thing, you know, with Bruce Wayne as Batman and have another actor just play him and fill the role, they run the risk of people getting bored of it and being like, ah, well, that's the same thing as it was before. So if they change it a bit and have Joseph Gordon-Levitt do it in the Justice League movie, I think people would like it. The drawbacks of it, of course, is it wouldn't feel as true to the comic books and as true to the story that that Justice League is based off of, to not have Bruce Wayne there. It would feel kind of weird to have a Justice League without him. Now, you still have Batman, but he wouldn't be the same as he normally would be. So I think there's good and bad to it. There are some other choices out there, too, that I think would be really good actors to play Bruce Wayne or Batman as well. I think I did a video on this a little while ago. Feel free to check it out. But Hugh Jackman, I think, would be really good as Batman, although he is doing Wolverine. But I don't see that as a problem. If he changed his hairstyle and all that, you know, it would work. Michael Fassbender, I think it is, or Fassbender, however you say it. He would be good too. I think he's a great actor, and he could do a good Bruce Wayne, I think. So there's lots of others too, I think, that would be good as well. But seeing as how Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in the end of The Dark Knight Rises, it would just feel fluid to have it, you know, to have him stay and have him do it again. So I think it makes sense, and it'd probably be the best choice for Warner Brothers to do, I think, at this point. Just because it would be, people would, I think, feel a lot better knowing that he ended up being that at the end, and they're continuing with that. Would feel very natural. So those are pretty much my thoughts on it. That is if the Justice League movie gets done. Now, this is just rumor status right now, so we don't know for sure, but it's supposed to come out in 2015, but I haven't even heard yet about a director that's willing to do it. Apparently, Ben Affleck was in talks, but he decided not to do it. And there was a couple others too, but nobody, I think, right now has actually fully agreed, signed on to it, and is working on it. So, you know, the clock is ticking. They got to get started pretty soon if they're gonna get it out in 2015. Plus, it's going to have to compete with the Avengers too. So I don't know how that's going to work. So we'll see what happens with it. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out to be a disaster, and hopefully, it'll be some fun. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, saying peace.